Guys, so, yeah. It's 8:08 a.m. on August the 11th of 2021. Same recording day as the last video, the Jenna beginning, I know these are gonna be uploaded on a different day, but, for me, it's August the 11th right now. So, yeah. But the second we jump into this, we're gonna be in a scene that is going to be interesting, alright? Because the thing is with this route is I actually know a lot of what's going to happen because I played this one fairly recently, seeing as it was the last route to be completed. With Flynn's route, it had been a while, so I wasn't quite sure on the details, but this one I have it fresh in my mind, kind of fresh in my mind and all that. And I can say that this route does indeed have one of quite possibly the most pant shit inducing moments, in my opinion, in the entire game. Mainly because I wasn't expecting it, because all the other routes were nothing like that moment, so let's just get into it. We might as well just jump in and get this fucking moment over with. Hey. He clutches his cell phone, the screen shattered and the metallic innards exposed. No texting, let's talk. But I can't. Have you decided what you're gonna do after school? Don't worry about it right now. I still got a few months to decide. Go into the bathroom, I'll be right back. What? Despite being shattered. I'm kinda fucking afraid already. Because, this fucking tone, this fucking causes fear in me, Pavlovianly, Despite being shattered, the phone in his hand lights up. No, please God, please God, please God, don't do this to me. Not again. I hate you. I'm actually looking down so I don't fucking like this. I see something flash on the screen. Hey boy, where you at? Who the fuck? I miss you. Calling now. Wow, this is actually awful. I don't like this. Can we not? Ugh, fuck! I found myself panting, sitting upright in the bed of our hotel room. My phone is vibrating against the nightstand. Reaching over, I grab and hit the answer button, my eyes still too hazy with sleep to read the caller ID. Hello? Hey. I catch the distinctive baritone rumble on the other end. Leo? That's me. You just waking up? I thought you were gonna film for your project before you hit the mall. Squinting at the screen of my phone, I see that it's 9:02 a.m. Additionally, I realize that Jen is staring at me with it from her bed, that covered up to her chest and her laptop in her lap. The sound of running water must mean that TJ's in the bathroom, taking one of his legendarily long showers. I'm on spring break. I'm not really imposing too strict a schedule on myself. I yawn, trying to snap my focus fully back into reality. Despite having slept for at least 10 hours, I don't feel rested at all. Lazy otter. Alright, just called to let you college kids know that I'll be at the motel in about 10 minutes. Great. What? Nothing. Chase. What? I'm hanging up now. I need to put on some clothes. I'll see it. I set my phone back down the nightstand and slide out of bed. Still roll my eyes a bit, I dig through my duffel bag for a decent outfit. As I pull on a pair of khaki cargo shorts to hear Jenna clear her throat. You're still dealing with sleep paralysis? Huh? You woke up swearing pretty loudly. I'm surprised you didn't leave from the shower to check on you. I feel a twinge of embarrassment. Oh. It wasn't paralysis this time, just regular bad dreams and such. Also, Lee will be here in 10 minutes, so you might want to get dressed. I see her type something quickly upon her laptop before shutting it. She slides out of sight beneath the nightstand. I guess she doesn't trust the cleaning staff. Do you still see a therapist? Nah, I'm not sure the one in Peyton helped, and You know how things are at Pueblo. Everybody's got a mental disorder or something. It's trendy, no one takes you seriously. That's just the stuff that Leo says. They have free counseling services available right now in the psychology department. You don't pay all that tuition money for nothing. Might as well use it. Well, do you go? I slide on an old t-shirt with Southwestern Adventures printed on the front. The red dye had faded to pink at this point. No, but I don't suffer from hallucinations, sleep paralysis, or night terrors. Please tell me you're at least still taking your medication. And none of that helps, so no. Chase. I catch the look she gives me. It's different from her usual, almost paternal stare. Her brow is lifted and seems more than just concern, a glimmer of worry present upon her face. I felt myself turning away from her abruptly as if I had seen something I shouldn't have. Trying to get myself busy with something, I take a bagel from our little communal sack of food on the table, eating it over a napkin. I hear TJ at this point trying to dry himself off in the bathroom with the cheap motel dryer. It isn't exactly a full-body machine like the ones back in Pueblo, so it takes forever. Especially someone furred like TJ. He turns into a damn poofball after a minute one of those things. Meanwhile, Jenna busies herself with getting dressed behind me. I don't know why this feels so awkward. Usually Jenna's the one person who I can speak with and not worry about this sort of thing. Oh no. Wolf Boy's here. Just a minute. I step over toward the bathroom door. Hey TJ, Leo's at the door. Hurry up if you can. What? Leo is at the door! Oh, okay. Oh gosh, sorry, I'll hurry. Glancing over, I see the door handle jiggle. It's still locked. Not very patient, is he? He never was. The knocking continues, and I hear Jenna sigh. She moves from the corner of the bed to the door, unlocking and opening it. It is at this point I realize she isn't fully dressed yet, her body covered only by a pair of bra and panties. Leo starts to say something with the words visibly catching his throat as he realizes Jenna's state of undress. You are gay, right, Leo? This shouldn't be an issue for you. His jowls visibly thin along the contours of his muzzle's auburn eyes, looking briefly to me, then back to the fennec in front of... Oh, right, okay. Your obsession with Chase, thinking that... You said you'd be here at 9:30, Leo. What's your problem? Leo blinks. What is my problem? Why are you naked? Because you wouldn't stop pounding on the door and I didn't want to deal with the creepy guy at the front desk yelling at us. No, wait outside. Like Chase said, just a minute. Good shit. Jenna shuts the door. Badass. I stare awestruck, Jenna moving back to her suitcase of clothes and rifling through it. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Chase, you want to bring that snapback with us to the mall? I think I have some peanut butter pretzels in there. Takes her only moment to slip on her familiar black tank top and shorts. Good. I didn't need to see that. Fucking hell. She sits back on the edge of the bed, taking a small comb from one of the drawers and grooming her head for it, despite the fact it looks perfect already. TJ emerges from the bathroom, his fur not adequately combed to giving him a soft, sort of lion's mane look that usually only punk guys go for. I can imagine him as a punk guy, I can imagine him as an emo, or hipster or something. I smirk a little as I grab up the bag of food. TJ frowned at me self-consciously. I thought we were in a hurry. It's alright, TJ, don't worry. There's no need to rush. Don't we have to get to Carl's birthday stuff at the party this afternoon, though? Yes, but this is Carl we're talking about. He doesn't wake up until mid-afternoon. If we show up too early, he'll be too groggy to realize what's happening. That's true. I'm not really sure how I feel about the whole early surprise party idea, though. But it does give us an excuse to check out the comic store at the mall, yeah? I want to visit the music store, and there's a new Cherry Bloom album out, and I like a physical copy. He pauses, TJ seemingly being in the midst of trying to push down his excess floof. If we have time, I mean. Jenna nods, picking up her phone and purse before heading to the door. We follow. All I'm saying is it's real stupid that you all drive all the way back here just hang out with each other alone. Even Carl and Flynn are sticking together by themselves, eh? You all can do that when you throw a non-break. Leo stares ahead, poking his tongue against the inside of his cheeks, eyes squinted against the rising sun. His lectures answer with resounding silence. Even TJ doesn't chime in. He clicks his tongue against the roof of his mouth. This is primarily due to Flynn's behavior, you know. Fact, you should put your pride beside. Really? Oh, God. I see TJ slide down the back seat. Leo insisted I said shotgun, so I can't really hide as well. I'm saying to you don't like Flynn a whole lot right now. He wins if we can't fucking get over his tantrums. Flynn wins if we continue to put up with his awfulness. He's older than all of us and he still acts like a child. He needs to apologize, being aware that his actions have consequences. Ignoring the problem like it isn't there helps no one. Despite the fact that Flynn is literally not the issue. What? That mind says why you had to speak to Chase early on. Oh, God. You sure insist on that, aren't you? Sound like you got an agenda or something. I see the wolf glanced sidelong toward me, his expression briefly softening. Good grief, Leo, you're stop. Why would I have an agenda to separate you and Chase? He's 21. He can make the decisions on his own. I just didn't want to have to deal with you two prancing around it the entire time. Wouldn't be the first time, girly. TJ's practically on the floor at this point. He's so far down in his seat. Leo glances over at me again. I can tell my lack of response is starting to put him on edge. Honestly, though, I have no idea what to say. Honestly, though, he doesn't deserve an answer. You two have decided your relationship's ass, right? It's been years and you're still wearing that bracelet. Come on, let's not have this talk or I'll trap in a vehicle for the next 30 minutes. Don't worry, Otter, I'm not going to drive us over the guardrail or something. At this point, that might be preferable to continuing this conversation. Another silence follows. I can feel Jenna's expectant stare upon the back of my neck. Finally, Leo speaks. I'm going to put on some music, yeah? Any preferences? We don't get any stations but the Hillbilly Cavalcade ones, between Echo and Peyton. Well, I've got a CD here. My curiosity piques. I see Leo look toward me and then nod to the glove box with a smirk tugging at the corner of his muzzle. Oh no. This scene. Right. I think I know exactly what CD he's thinking of. I pull a little clasp on the dashboard. Instead of a CD, a slew of balled-up napkins fall into my lap. Ew. I don't think much of it until I spy the mostly empty bottle of water-based lube sitting in the glove box. Oh, gross! Leo looks over and his eyes go wide. Put a mod right up, fuck! He makes a sound saluting a sigh and nervous laughter. I forgot about that. Jenna cranes her head to see what the fuss is about. She lets out an amused grunt. That's nothing you haven't had your hands on before, Chase. Ugh. Leo's ears seem downright flushed at this point, pinned to the side of his head. Context is keys, they say, yeah? Don't worry, guys, there's a trash thingy back here. TJ unbuckles and reaches forward, collecting at least 9 balled-up tissues in his pocket. We all look on in horror. TJ, put those down! Good grief. It sure is empty. It is Wednesday morning. We're like the only car in the back parking lot, though. Kind of spooky. I ain't afraid no parking lot. Leo smiles, looking back at us, waiting for applause. Only thing that scares me anymore is college debt. Makes me glad I'm not going to college, then. I don't say that. I catch up and walk alongside the others. It's strange, seeing all these parking spaces completely unused. Why not? I mean, what if you want to make a career change? I'll join the army. Ew. Well, if I do want to go back to school, it'd be real cheap with the whole GI Bill. It sounds silly that's the route so many have to take to get educated. Isn't it like I got a nifty tribal association scholarship? The hell? What was that sentence? Isn't it like I got... Oh, okay. I decided this is a good time to interject. I hope this place is actually open. We approach the door as Leo looking back at us. Moan the truth. He tugs once and doesn't budge. That stupid thing. It says push. The wolf nudges the door with one arm. Oh yeah, I know. I was just... TJ giggles. Huh. Remember this place feeling so much bigger as a kid. Nowadays it feels kind of claustrophobic. Might just be Pueblo spoiling me, though. Oh jeez, not very busy at all. Everything's shuttered. Internet shopping exists now, Teach. Oh yeah, I figured. It's just kinda sad, that's all. Link steps off to one of the closed shops, the perforated steel roller shutters, allowing just enough visibility to peek in. This used to be the mask shop. I don't think Carl needs any masks. This has got a secret bank robbing lab we don't know about. Leah smiles lopsidedly. You know, he might actually want a Lucia Wolf mask or something. I remember as a kid, Carl always spouted off random wrestling facts. The fake kind, though, and most of it sounded more like soap opera storylines than an actual sport. I never really got into it. Yeah, I don't fucking understand that shit. I don't like it either. It's kinda dumb. But it still was funny back whenever we were facing some problem. Carl's trademark motivational catchphrase was to suplex it. Internet mode not work it? Or internet modem not working? Suplex it. Fishing pole tingling line? Suplex it. Having to do with a bully? Suplex him. It was the only thing Sydney and him both got along over. They don't really make those sorts of things for ram faces on her. I don't think he'll actually wear it. It's more like a collectible. He has enough of that sort of stuff already. His room is already a cluttered mess. We'd just be adding to the pile. Carl sent me a picture of it over Christmas, and it looks exactly the same as it did when we were in high school. It reminds him of better times, I suppose. Yes, but the issue is that he doesn't seem to actually leave his room to make some new, better times for himself. He just dwells in nostalgia for video games I haven't touched since I was 12. Yard sale, all that junk might do him some good. Leo chuckles, rubbing his forehead. Happy birthday, Carl. Instead of giving you a gift, we're selling your shit. I see Jenna smiling on an amused huff before moving on. I realize that TJ is still standing from the closed mask shop. Hey, you coming? I see him bristle, start from thought and pull back to reality. Up there goes gravity. Oh yeah, sorry, I just knew a girl who worked here. I hope she's okay. I nod, not really sure what to say in response to that, as the feline catches up to us. We pass even more shuttered shops. Oh jeez, piercing, gross. Most of the pagodas are still open, but they're manned mainly by really foreign dudes who are transfixed on their cell phones. I don't blame them either. In a place like this, the shift hours must drag on. I was fortunate enough to have a part-time job as a Peyton newspaper printer in high school, and it kept me pretty busy. Plus, I got to tell people that I worked for the city paper. Oh no, the music store is gone. That's probably the least surprising closure yet. I really like the physical stuff. My mom and dad sent me this vinyl record player for my birthday. My other doormates and I listen to it in the common room all the time. TJ, you a hipster now? I see TJ blink, trying to look at Leo a little wide-eyed. What? No. I don't know, get T.O. Cherry Bloom is pretty underground. They're one of the top-selling alternative music artists of the 2000s. Alternative isn't the word for saying indie. I bet TJ is an aesthetic blog. What? I don't even know what that is, but yes, it sounds like something TJ would have. Jenna covers his mouth with her paw, stifling her snicker. Usually she's the one to put a stop to any TJ ribbing going on, but I suppose this is lighthearted enough where she doesn't mind. It's okay, TJ. I enjoy having physical copies of things as well. Especially now that I'm living alone at Pueblo. I don't have to worry about anyone going into my room and pawning my stuff. She says this so nonchalantly, but I remember how horrible and common that problem was for her. Leo and Flynn helped her install a lock on her door, but then her parents just took the door itself away a week later. I'm not looking forward to having to pack it all up for the move to Weston, though. I'll stop by and help you pack up when the time comes. I say that with a bit more finality than intended, and it makes me feel a little sad. It's like Jen and I barely ever hung out while we had the chance, and now we might never again. That would be nice, you Chase. Thank you. I force to smile and nod. She perks up around my direction. As TJ and Leo have a back and forth about how many times the Lynx has worn flannel, Jenna hangs back a bit to walk alongside me. She reaches over, gingerly grasping onto my wrist. I feel her thumb rub across my forearm, and it's like electricity, the furs stand up around my collar. At first, I think she's just trying to get my attention, which she certainly has now, but her touch is more reassuring than firm. I watch Leo gesticulate wildly with his back turned in front of me, and I can feel my heart thud in my chest. I expect Jenna to say something, but she's completely silent. God, I'm the guy here. I'm supposed to be the one to take charge with this sort of thing, right? I Here I am, pinker like a blushing bride, my wrist held by a girl. My nostrils flare, some pull away. Jenna gives me an indiscernible look. I reach over and fully take her upon mine, squeezing some. A wry expression crosses her face, and I feel her hip bump into my thigh. She's so short, but she certainly doesn't act like it in any way. The stereotype about meek Phoenix is completely untrue. Oh, damn it. She wiggles free from my grasp with surprise and deafness, pointed ahead. Sure enough, Birchfire Comics is completely gone. The interior dark and empty behind the chain-link roller grill. She sighs, crossing her arms over her chest. Her turquoise eyes shift sideward. Shit, that sucks. I'm sorry, Jenna. She straightens suddenly, then walks ahead of me. I'm gonna go with TJ and find him a bathroom to wash his paws. I see her walk up beside the two of us. I see her walk up beside the two in front of us. She nudges TJ, saying something to him and Leo before they move off in the direction of the food court. I can't believe TJ is about 20 years old at this point, still getting babied by her. Leo is left standing there, his paws in his pockets and his face devoid of expression. He looks back at me, putting on a tepid smile. Wanna check out the family plex? Oh, now it's this scene, you fucking piece of shit. I shrugged noncommittally. You guys said it yourself, there's no rush. I met with realization, I furrowed my brow, but, you heard that? He just maintains his smile and beckons me along for turning. So, despite being open, the plex certainly doesn't look like it should be. The carpet is musty, everything smells like mildew, the game machines are decades old, and the roller rink is scratched up to all hell. Leo stops next to a claw prize machine and fishes around in his pocket for quarters. What is an aesthetic blog? Makes me want to register what he's asking, and I can't help but be tickled a bit by the question. I know for a fact that Leo spends a lot of time on the internet, but mainly on the mainstream sites. Sports, music, that sort of thing. It's like an ongoing online page that you update with stuff that sort of corresponds to a mood or feeling. He slides 2 quarters into the machine, then grabs the control stick. A few lights in the machine begin to glow and flash, moving in a pattern around the glass window. About half the bulbs are burnt out. Oh, I have one of those. You do? Yeah, but it's mainly porn, though. He makes a lewd, jerky motion with the control stick, and I'm put at slight unease, knowing that this machine is meant for children. Well, better than starting on your simple music folder, I suppose. I actually got caught with that, you know. Damn it, I told you. Yeah, I know. My little nephew Eduardo wanted to play games on my computer, and he started clicking around the recent files thing. Oh my god, Leo, he's like 10. Versus Brown moving the crane some absently. He's 13. His dad is your really religious brother too, right? Yeah. Jesus. Hey, ain't nearly as bad as getting cock and ball by the Padres while watching Fox horse gay porn. I cringed, covering my face. Hey, look. I want to pause away from my face to see Leo point to something in the machine. I squint in the midst of puzzle cubes and spinner toys. A boxed Lucha Wolf figure sits. Leo shifts his gaze toward me and grins. I see him navigate the crane perpendicular with the box's point of rest. He hits the lowering button. You know, you really should look to the side of the glass to see if it's lined up correctly before you do. Whatever, I'm just flexing with my knowledge of these things. I don't really have any knowledge, it's just what I do, you know, when I play these, whenever I did, I don't know. Metal Claw descends in the pit of cheap toys, clenching down upon the cardboard edge of the box. Tugs at it slightly, but it loses grasp and returns to its point of rest. Fast shit. Let me have a go. I reach in my back pocket for my wallet, but Leo was already putting 2 more coins in. He gestures to the machine and tips an invisible hat in my direction. I find myself rolling my eyes a little and take position. Thanks. I slide this time I'm going to try and grab it from one of the corners. It might not be enough to pick it up completely, but it will pull it from the rest of the toy pile for future tries. Speaking of... I try to line up the crane just right, eyeing through the dusty glass from multiple angles to get a good idea of positioning. There you go, Chase, doing the right thing. Now that I don't have you so anchored down where the fuck you want to see it as. I pause, my paw over the lower button. You let any other guys fuck you at Pueblo? Any big stallion types like the one you're porn? The tone in his voice is definitely one that I haven't heard in years. It seems to carry an extra intense edge. Yes, because you're so entitled to know that, Leo, as if you have a right to know that, you fucking piece of shit. Christ, Leo, no. You haven't had sex in 3 years. You must be really pent up, eh? Oh no, here we go. He laughs breathily. I exhale, trying to hit my nerve. I go ahead and press the button. The crane lowering the claw down once again. You don't have to lie to me, yeah? I just want the truth. Claw pushes the box down further. It's seeming to have different levels how low it starts grasping. However, it doesn't even grasp this time. The crane just keeps lowering the claw. You can't even see the figure anymore, not that Leo's paying any attention. If you like girls now, you can tell me. I feel him now, his thigh against my bum. So now you're going to fucking molesting, okay. Fucking piece of shit. I feel him now, his thighs behind my back, the familiar firmness. I stare at the machine, the claw still hasn't come up yet. Leo. His paw takes my hip. Can you fuck off? What? Wow. Leo's paws are off me now. The wolf turns to face the others. How long you two been there? Long enough. I was just trying to... I thought you were better than this sort of behavior, Leo. This was a private conversation, eh? That Chase clearly didn't want to be a part of. Well, I didn't know that until just now. He looks back at me, his eyes are wide and his shoulders are raised up high. The wolf visibly tense. Good, fuck off, bitch, you fucking piece of shit. I'm still reeling from what just happened, from Leo's behavior, from my own words. I say nothing. He sucks in his jowls, trying to put on a smile. We found a present for Carl in the crane machine here, a lucha guy, yeah? CJ leans to peer inside the machine. I don't see it. Claw and Crane are back at their starting positions. Yeah, well, Julie here beside me must have buried it somehow. Don't fucking say that word to describe Chase. He is not your fucking lover, you piece of shit. Buried it? You know what I mean, Tej. Shrugs, really not knowing what Leo means. Generally gives Leo a look I don't quite catch before stepping up to the machine. She squints, looking over the pile of toys. No, I see it. That green and purple cardboard thing in the middle beneath the Mothman plushie. She reaches into her purse, sifting through it for a moment before finding 2 quarters. We all just sort of stand there, staring at her as the lights flash around the window, illuminating her features with golden glow. She fiddles with it a lot longer than I did, 30 seconds passing before she actually hits the lower button. The claw descends, pushing through the muck of plush and plastic. The sound of metal scraping the box is audible even if it is difficult to see what is happening. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see that Leo's facade of a smile is completely dissipated. Oh, boo-hoo, cry me a river, you fucking poor innocent person. Fuck off, bitch. Seriously. He looks at me, though his gaze is unfocused. It's like he's trying to numb himself, but isn't working. The claw finally lifts, the metal prongs clutching the central mask of the figurine container and carrying it to the drop slot. With a satisfying clunk, the box falls in, the crane returns to its default position. Leo's form stiffens. He stares at the machine, Jenna, and then me again. He crosses his arms and I see his face start to shake, his eyes clenched shut. Here we go, angry fucking piece of shit going crazy. I'll be in the fucking van. As he leaves, Leo smacks into my pinball machine so hard the glass cracks. CJ stands there with his paw behind his head and maw agape. And so the real Leo reveals himself. Indeed. Oh my goodness. CJ walks over to the pinball machine, bending down to gather up what splintered glass there is in front of his shirt. I watch Leo trudge off around the corner, though I can still hear his heavy footfalls for a while after. Who fucking who, bitch? Cry me a river. Jenna meanwhile steps up, handing me the box figurine. So, is there a Krabby Boardwalk game that you can't beat? Despite what just happened, I see a flicker of a smile. It's like at the corner of her lips. Well, all I have to do is hook the claw where the cardboard meets the plastic. Her gaze shifts from the broken glass and the tacky carvage of the crane machine. That way it gets lashed in the grooves of the box and doesn't drop. I had a lot of practice with my summer job, but you did most of the work for me, putting it in position. Good job. She moves past me, patting my back some before kneeling down beside TJ and helping him clean it up. I turned to face her again. You should be the one to give it to Carl. After all, you're the one who won it for him. No, then I'd be a hypocrite after what I said earlier about his clutter problem. He'll like this from you, though. Yeah, I guess. We should probably hurry before someone besides us decides to visit this mall. I peer around, checking to make sure that we're the only people in here still. I see a coffee sitting on the service desk. So whoever is managing this place today might be back soon. And before Leo decides to drive off without us. He wouldn't do that. TJ gathers a glass from his shirt and places it in a small pile on the bench nearby. Jenna does the same. Yes, well, I'd rather not tempt the odds, or the potential 30-mile outside city limits cab fare. Shouldn't we leave some money for the pinball machine repair? No, TJ, it's all right. None of us should have to deal with Leo's mess more than we already have. Indeed. I rest my head against the passenger window as I balance the cheap fast food place red velvet cake in my lap. This is one of the most awkward car rides I've ever been in. Everyone is completely silent, TJ's previous attempts to lighten the mood having been received with idle grunts and nods. My stomach hurts and I have this nauseous feeling that keeps bubbling up whenever I think of what happened. Leo and I have squabbled in the past, sure, but never like this. Most of the time we fought about video game shit, politics, and sports. The worst it ever got was when the topic of leaving Echo came up. I danced around answering for so long as I could, and the truth came out in the worst way possible. But now it's different. I've never felt such contempt for him before like I did when he pressed against me, interrogating me like I belonged to him. That is the most accurate description of what Leo thinks. He probably thought I'd just bend over against the crane machine for old time's sake. Indeed. Watching him from the corner of my eye now, I see him trying to keep his ears up, but they keep pinning back down. Boo fucking who? Cry me a fucking river. I'm stuck in this shitty feeling of being pissed at Leo and ashamed of myself. He shouldn't have acted that way, but I know I just heard a matter that I hadn't done in a long time. Boo fucking who? Being stuck in a car with someone who's thinking about you when you're thinking about them and you're both hurting is hell. I really wish I brought my headphones. I stare at the window as he rolled down the first dirt road into Echo. Every street, every corner, every trailer, and every tree is a memory attached to it. There, in the middle of the dusty parking lot that belonged to the corner market, is a tiny stand. That used to be where I'd get ice cream after begging for $1 from my parents. It's crumbled and boarded up now, the paint peeling off in tiny chips. And there, in front of Duke's house, is a big flat rock that Jenna was standing on when she told me she was going to run away from home. I can still remember almost exactly how she was, silhouetted against the red sunset behind her. And the old train yard where I kissed Leo for the first time after staying up all night at her first real party. Oh yeah, Route 65 content. I look over at Leo. He's got one hand on the Leo, okay. He's got one hand on the wheel, glancing up at the rearview mirror occasionally. He hasn't so much as looked at me since the family plex, though I see him staring at Jenna now. She catches his gaze, so I return it with even more curt look. Carla probably still isn't even up yet. Do you have a plan if he doesn't answer the door? We'll call him then. And what if he doesn't answer his phone? Will you shatter the window too? Leo's muzzle pulls into a snarl. I hear him mutter something I can't quite discern. He shifts focus back on the road, his knuckles tighten the steering wheel. TJ gives another go at trying to fill the silence. Well, I don't think this will go too badly. It's just like working out again. Nothing wrong with that. I agree, TJ. Though I do think this is perhaps a bit poorly planned. It should be on our right time. I haven't been to Carl's in so long. The car starts slowing down as I snap out my daydreaming to look up, knowing that we definitely aren't at Carl's house yet. That's when I see a canine figure standing further up on the side of the road. She's standing in the dirt that separates the road and the field in front of a broken and rusted barbed wire fence. I think that's Janice. I look over at Leo and he seems concerned, his brows furrowed as he carefully steers the car right up next to the coyote. I can see why. She's crouched over, elbows on her knees, staring at the ground. Roll down your window, Chase. I do as he says, struggling alone with the old crane candle. What is she doing out here? We come to a stop next to the coyote, kicking up some dust. I don't know. Hey! TJ rolls down his window as well, waving. Hi, Janice. Leo leans over me and looks out at her. She's still looking at the ground. Everything all... Leo's voice cuts off in a weird choking sound. I look at him confused and look back out the window, and I can't help myself but I gasp. It was hard to tell from the angle with all the dust kicked up by the van, but now I can see that Janice has her pants down around her thighs. I can also see everything else. I sit back quickly and avert my eyes, looking at the windshield instead. Is she? Oh my god, Leo, keep going. Jenna whispers at her voice strained. Oh, sorry, Leo stops talking and I chance to glance out the window again. Janice is looking at us now and she's smiling. It's a weird smile because it isn't touching her eyes. It's unnerving. Leo stares back. Leo, let's just go. I hiss out the side of my mouth, staring out the windshield again. He seems reluctant to, though, looking concerned. Janice needs some help. His tone is one you might use in a toddler. That was not at all what I sounded like. Or a crazy person. I don't hear her say anything except maybe a grunt. Leo bravely keeps trying, though. We can give you a rut. Leo stops talking in time for me to hear a pattering sound, a noise I recognize well from being a kid pissing on the dirt roads of Echo. Van lurches forward then, resumes a smoother acceleration back onto the empty road. What in God's name? Good question, mate. I don't know. Leo's frowning, looking as confused as I've ever seen him. Should I go back? No! I look back and see TJ covering his face. Maybe she could be having some kind of psychotic episode. Maybe she just really had to go. I'm like that after a ton of caffeine sometimes. TJ, I'm fairly certain you haven't peed yourself in front of anyone since Mrs. Bueller's Thanksgiving play. And you certainly weren't smiling at the audience while you were at it. Hey, please don't talk about that now. I don't think so. Did you see the way she looked at me? She's probably just on something, isn't everyone? No, she doesn't do stuff like that. Well, maybe she does. You never know with people. Again, Leo doesn't say anything, and neither does anyone else. We don't go back. And he's not here. Leo stabs the doorbell again, frustration etched across his face. I shift the red velvet cake in my grasp, trying to hold both it and the Lucha figurine. Not really wanting to do more shopping after the incident, Jenna, TJ, and Leo had just bought Peyton fast food as gifts. Carl doesn't get out to Peyton much, so the three took it upon themselves to buy from 3 different locations. Leo got a couple large and juicy vegan burgers. TJ got those tofu tacos that are made from nacho cheese chips, and Jenna got him a bread bowl. I squint, trying to look through the frosted glass on the sides of the door. Maybe he's getting high? He should still be able to hear. I mean, maybe he just doesn't want to. TJ holds up his phone. He's not answering his phone either. Leo knocks on the door hard, his bicep bulging. I could be studying, Chase could be finishing his project, and you and Flynn could be at work right now. Instead, we're doing this. Flynn leans back around his truck a couple yards away, briefly canting his head in Jenna's direction as his name is mentioned. You know, I may be remiss to mention this, but you are all 6 shades extra bitchy today. Leo stands back, pausing his waist as he takes a deep breath. His eyes have a shamed, bleary quality to them. Any time Jenna speaks, it seems like he's wrought to near twitching levels of anger. All of Leo's plans to bring everyone together have had the opposite effect so far. Do they lock their windows? What? Leo growls. It's not like we're breaking in. TJ's ears pinned back, a frown on his face. Wolf puts a fist to his forehead, closing his eyes. I think he's just asleep and it shouldn't be too hard to get in there and wake him up. Actually, this is the only route where he isn't at the house. And no one knows where he is. Good grief. This is like... fucked. I look over at the side of the house and see a window well. I point at it. What about that? Too small. I could probably fit. She hops off the front porch and crouches down next to the window, pushing at it. Wait, there's a security sticker here. Jenna hesitates and pushes out the window again, but it doesn't budge. Locked. Then try the one above it. That's too high. I think this is going a little far. I'll boost you up. Think you're strong enough for that? Well, you look like you've lost weight recently. Jenna turns and gives me a quizzical expression. Smooth. She does smile after a moment, looking more bemused than anything. I see her bushy tail flick some behind her. You know, some girls might take that as an insult. Are you one of said girls? No, I get the meaning of your words, and that's where it's flattering regardless. Oh well, good I guess. What the fuck is happening? I set the cake and figurine down the gravel, move behind Jenna, cupping my paws together in front of me for her foot. Steadying herself with her paws against the wall of the house, Jenna steps into my paws. Slowly, I push up, feeling my muscles strain beneath my fur. Fucking hell, this is so fucking stupid. There's a light click, and I see Jenna pushing open the top window with ease. Good, now I'm gonna try to boost you all the way up, alright? Your arm's doing okay? Yeah, peachy. Her tail flicks again, and I get a mouthful of fur. Sorry. Like we're some kind of cheerleading duo, I shove Jenna as high as I can with both paws. She grabs the ledge, and I feel the weight burden lift as she dangles against the edge of the side of the house. Careful, don't fall! Her bushy tail. Her bushy tail is the last thing we see until she pokes her head back through. Kitchen, I fell in the sink. Okay, unlock the door now. She disappears again and we make our way back to the front door. Leah, why didn't you help? You're the fucking muscle here. If you don't shut your fucking mouth, Flynn, I'll use my muscles and kick you right in your vag. Sound good? Jesus, calm your... Leo turns in one foot in front of the other. Flynn shuts up. TJ, meanwhile, has his eyes on the wall in front of him. Usually he's all smiles when we're gathered like this, even through the swearing and crude stuff. Right now, though, his eyes are just sort of vacant, like earlier at the mall. Finally, we hear the door rattling and it opens. He called his name, but he didn't answer. Well, it's gotta be in here. It's not like he can go anywhere I would want to. I pick up my stuff and head inside. Carl's has his mask with a Mac, let us remember it. It is a mansion, after all. Well, maybe less immaculate to remember. There are a few wrappers and pizza boxes on the marble counter. I assume it's because Carl's parents aren't here to tell him not to be a slob. Flynn immediately heads up the stairs. Yo, Carl! Jenna stands in the kitchen, her paws on her hips as she looks around. Strange being back, isn't it? Like in general, or... She shrugs. Carl! I hear the others scampering around the house, Leo moving out to the backyard. TJ, meanwhile, checks the garage. She pulls out her cell phone, tapping at it a few times. It is very faint, but I can hear a distant vibrating sound somewhere in the house. Jenna turns and I follow, stepping past the spacious living room. I didn't know it was possible, but it looks like Carl's parents got an even bigger TV since I was last here. Carl's room looks pretty damn similar to how I remember it, though usually he makes at least a mild effort to pick up after himself when I'd be coming over. There's so much dirty laundry and trash scattered about I can hardly see the carpet. God, it smells like Leo's glove box in here. I wonder why. Jenny gives me a slight scrunched nose look, pauses and nods acceptingly. She pulls out her phone, calling Carl's number again. This time the vibration is much closer, a rattling sound audible as the device vibrates against a wood surface. Still, sounds kind of muffled. Sounds like it's coming from one of his drawers. Ordinarily, it'd be vehemently against rifling through one's personal stuff, but this is a special instance. I'm not gonna stop you. Jenna starts pulling open drawers in the dresser while I check out the desk. I feel guilty doing it, but there is a sort of thrill to be had in snooping about like this. I start stumbling upon old comics that I'd given Carl myself back when we were kids. The Corner's dog-eared all hell. Next door looks to be chock full of portable gaming system stuff, including all of his cartridges just scattered about. I remember every day in the bus I'd just sit next to Carl and play because his parents bought him all the expensive devices. I'd always guilt him by saying that he could play at home whenever he wanted, so he usually let me play the whole ride from Echo to Peyton. Find it yet? I blinked and shook my head, checking the next drawer. No, but... Well, that's a fleshlight. A butthole one, too. What? I shut the drawer, trying not to think about it too much. Nothing. Well, I found it. I spin around, moving to Jenna's side. It looks like she grabbed it from somewhere wedged between Carl's bed and the window. Does it have a lock on it? No, it doesn't. Carl's parents have always been really good about respecting privacy, yeah? How fortunate for him. Jenna swipes through the messenger tab, though for some reason now she keeps the screen out of sight for me. Her brow raises at something as she pauses. What? What is it? She quickly shakes her head. Nothing relevant. She returns to tapping about again. I can hear the others still calling for Carl, so I guess they haven't found him yet. Again, she is wrought to pause. Are you gonna tell me what's up this time? She just stares. So, apparently Carl took a picture last night. There's a disconcerting look in her eyes, which tells me this is different than just another picture of Carl's ass. Okay? She holds up the phone for me to see. Okay. Oh boy. I stare at the sunlight reflected upon the ceiling above me. Its pale golden hue is gradually shifted to a more amber tone as dusk nears. We showed up around, what, 2-ish? Yeah, usually I would be at work, but I took time off for Leo's party plan. Patter of Flynn's feet is audible behind me as he paces back and forth upon the tile floor. Glancing over the edge of the couch, his gaze is fixed upon the ground in front of him, the phone cupped against the side of his head. What? He's in the kitchen now, using your coffee machine. All the old gang is here. To repeat, the alarm wasn't armed. Carl usually doesn't set it. We got into the top window above the kitchen sink. Flynn points toward the aforementioned window, despite currently explaining it on the phone. Leo stands motionless in front of the kitchen window, facing away from us. Well, Jenna did, then unlocked the front door for the rest of us. Wasn't my idea, again. Place was kind of messy, but we didn't see any signs of anything broken into. Jewelry above the bedroom dresser. Give me a sec, I'll check. Speaking of, here she is. Flynn hands the phone off to Jenna before heading upstairs again. Shank crosses her leg and stands up slightly. Pausing in for a moment, she listens to Carl's father on the other end of the line. Yes, Mr. Hendricks, it has been a while since we've spoken. 5 or 6 years, actually. I go by Jenna now, yes. Instead of pacing about like Flynn, she moves over toward me. She rests herself against the arm of the couch on my head. Her expression shifts some, but I can't see much due to the sun glare coming through the windows and the angle she is above me. My brother? Actually, yes. When I went through his phone, it showed that they had texted earlier. Yes, it does appear Carl was buying weed from him. She's quiet now, listening. I can hear Carl's father on the other end now, meaning his voice is a bit raised. I turn to my side, prop my head up, with an elbow on the armrest and have to outread her expression. Jenna doesn't appear phased. She doesn't look at me either. Mr. Hendricks. The voice on the other end continues. The high-pitched rasp of Carl's father's voice is still audible a minute later. There are pauses in what he's saying, but Jenna doesn't interject. Finally, there's a pause around 5 seconds, before I can hear quieter, "Are you still there?" coming through. Yes, Mr. Hendricks. At this time, I'm going to file a missing persons report with the county sheriff's office, citing the image I sent you from Carl's phone. Looking over, Carl's phone sits upon the coffee table, the red-eyed image still displayed. Something about it seems familiar, yet exactly why escapes me, like fleeting deja vu. Makes me uneasy, even without the context of our current situation, which makes it worse. It hasn't been the minimum 24 hours, but as you said, the fact that his phone, wallet, and all your vehicles are accounted for is worrisome. She waits, listening. I'm going to tell the police that we were given the go-ahead to come and go from the building during the week. If you could confirm that with the sheriff's office when the sheriff's office calls you later, that Nick thing's easier on us while we keep up the search effort. Do you and Mrs. Hendricks have any recommendations on that front regarding where he could have gone off to? She reaches over and I feel her palm move beneath my tough chin. Her fingers scritch along my jawline. My eyes begin to lull. I don't know why I'm still so tired. Mm-hmm. I look up at her, though her gaze still doesn't meet mine. She continues to pet me, eventually reaching up to ruffle my head scruff. It rouses me from my lulled state, and I blink up at her. She covers the phone with her free palm, muttering to me, "Hey, wake up. Can you go see if TJ made any progress upstairs?" "Oh, yeah, sure thing." Hearing the telltale thuds of Flynn's heavy-footed gait upon the terracotta stairway, I glance up. He returns, shaking his head. "Shit's still there." Jenna nods, meaning to ignore the now strange look the heel is giving us. I sit upright. "I think Mr. Hendricks is giving us some advice of where to look." Jenna again nods in confirmation, though Flynn still peers at us with a furrowed brow. Where this any other Tom would have some shit to say right now." He saw his nostrils flaring. I leaned forward, taking hold of Carl's phone and peering at the image again up close. "I'm gonna check out some of the messages myself, see if I can find anything." This fucking image. Swear to praying. Where are you? We'll have it. Don't fucking understand what... Gay otter. Some gay otter, I don't know. Boy. The cell phone is plucked from my grasp and staring above me. "Jen and I are looked through that. Now you're just wasting time being a snoopy shit." Flynn's emerald gaze briefly flicks to Jenna, then back down to me. Surprisingly, Jenna nods in agreement, then motions to the stairs. "We got this, Chase. Like I said, go see how TJ's progress is going." She looks to Flynn with a sort of stern, knowing expression, before responding to something on the phone. "Well, the convenience store is a few miles from here. Does she usually walk that far?" My cheeks burned with a scolding, and I ready to withstand. Turning to leave, I can still see Leah standing unmoving in the kitchen. It's like a photograph, a still image silhouetted in contrast to the fading sun through the window. It's weird. Usually Leo is the one who jumps into action with this sort of situation. At least he did when we were kids. De facto group leader and whatnot. Now, though, since we found out Carl was missing a couple hours ago, he's been pretty resigned. Hell, Flynn and Jenna have been the ones coordinating everything so far. He glances over his shoulder, the first bit of movement I've seen him do in about 15 minutes. I can see his red eyes from here. He's staring right at me. I found myself walking over to spot myself. Flynn and Jenna are busy talking with Mr. Hendricks over speakerphone now. I enter the kitchen and approach him. "Hey." "Yo." The silence lingers between us. "So, Carl." "Yeah." "You know where he might be?" "Uh-huh, of course. I'm just not telling anybody, because I like all this quality time we're having here, eh?" "Leo, this is serious. Jen's about to call the sheriff." "Yeah, good. 2 birds with 1 stone." He holds up his phone in notification, the screen I can't quite read. "Got a call from Ariana back in parents' house. The police were checking to see if I was there." "What?" My brow raised as I try to study Leo's expression, but his stony as all hell right now, his jaw set in near constant grit. "Family plucks out my plates from the security camera. Things in the parking lot, I'm guessing." I sigh over my forehead. I'm about to open my mouth and say something, though I catch a sort of strange, empty look in Leo's eyes that brings me to pause. I sighed against my scolding and instead moved beside him, taking one of Carl's mugs and pouring myself a cup of coffee from the coffee maker. It is one of those fancy ones that has an espresso maker built in, and the wee basket next to the machine has at least 30 different flavor cups. The flavors are mostly dessert-based, with labels like salted caramel, frosted oat milk cookies, cinnamon churro, and truffle sundae. They sound pretty damn delicious as far as I know. Carl only drinks energy drinks, and usually obscene quantities of them. After taking a sip, the bitter scald hits my tongue, and I find myself reflexively reeling before getting a chance to swallow. Despite having all these choices available, it looks like Leo went for straight black. Leo's gaze shifts to me, and I see him perk a white brow. "Damn fine cup of coffee, eh? Don't fucking call him that. He's not your lover." I managed to swallow without sputtering too much, putting a slight artsy flair to my tone. "Black as a moonless eve at midnight. It's just how I like it." He smiles with a visibly pained expression while he obscures behind his own cup as he drinks. "I bet at university. All you drink are those rainbow frappuccinos I saw on the news. I remember when those came out. My dorm is by the library, and the coffee shop is there selling them. The line was insane, and they sold out super quick. My friend Vincent, he's a barista there. He tells me it's just mango juice, sprinkles, whipped cream, frappy syrup, and food coloring. Oh, that's the same Vincent for all the photos you've been uploading recently, yeah? The other wolf guy? I can see where this is going from a mile away. I take another drink of my coffee despite the bitterness. I mean, the pictures, they just pop in my timeline, yeah? I keep seeing them pop up. Yeah, same guy. I hear ya. Pause and I change the topic. Are you going to turn yourself into the sheriff? Not yet. He responds quickly. Gotta find Carl, and I think a wolf who's known the horned fucker his whole life can stiff him out better than some overpaid mall cop, eh? Will be more trouble for you if Sheriff Malco, assuming that's who's still in charge, finds you first. When he signs with frustrated gravel, he grasps his gaze, looking down at the kitchen floor. You sound like Jenna. It's probably because what I'm saying makes sense. Cliff looks up, his bug-eyed gaze focused on mommies of searching for something. This damn get-together's gone more bad than I could ever predicted, you know. I nod, not disagreeing with that sentiment in the slightest. First Flynn at the river, and then that shit at the family plex, Carl's nowhere to be found. This may be all the worst shit, yeah. But I would never be able to forgive myself if I gave it the last chance I had to ever spend time with you guys again, you know. He sets his coffee down, his paws gripping the back of the countertop. Leo, come on, we'll see each other again. You don't know that. Jenna's moving all the way into the East Coast. She's out of the country, probably, and you. And what happened to the family plague, she probably don't want to see me ever again either, eh? There's a serious intensity in the cadence of his voice, as if something is practically choking him as he speaks those last few words. Oh, boo-hoo, cry me a river. The air even feels weird. I think from what to say, still processing Leo's response. I look around, I know it doesn't happen till, near the end of the route, but, I'm getting genuine goosebumps because every time Leo's around, I just get so creeped out that Shulpa's gonna show up, and I don't fucking... Looking around, I spot an old black beanie hanging up on the coat rack by the door, and I remember something. Carl once told me something back when I said you were becoming too cool for us in high school, with football and stuff. You know, back when you stopped riding the bus and just spent all your time after school at practice with the jock kids. You said that after all the shit that we've been through, none of the present, petty drama, stuff matters, yeah? I mean, sure, I'm kind of ski, but it doesn't mean I hate you forever. Does it hate me temporarily, then? I sigh. You still haven't even said sorry or anything, man. Why would I say sorry when it's fucking Jen who showed up and ruined everything, yeah? Are you serious? I told you to fuck off, too. Why? Why? Jesus Christ, man, you were grinding on me 15 feet away from the fucking kitty corner. You used to do that sort of horny stuff to me all the time. Now you're different. He gesticulates with a swirling motion toward me using both of my paws. Well, I guess I am. That's sort of the point about why it's fucked up. Leo blinks, his shoulders raised high, begins to speak fast with his old accent seeping through. You didn't even tell me it was uncomfy or nothing. Just straight up told me to fuck off. Felt appropriate at the time, man. This is why I didn't want you to leave Echo Water. It isn't like things were great here between you and I before I left either. Because Jenna got to you. What are you talking about? We had it all planned out. A house, a car, a job waiting for you at my dad's shop. The life we talked about since we were little. Then Jenna started talking all about Pueblo and how you should go. To hell with all us hick trash, we're better than them, yeah. Leo. And then she came with that fucking prank. I see his fist shake and instantly know what he's talking about. You broke my phone. You broke my heart, Puchica. I don't fucking know. Just what? For fuck's sake, shut up! Flynn steps into the kitchen and realized I could still hear the faint sound of Jen on the phone with Mr. Hendricks in the room. Well, you two fuckers are having a domestic. Carl's getting rammed by the Mothman. Or whatever the fuck that red-eyed shit is on his phone. Neo steps forward, his jowls curl back into a snarl. Get out of here, Flynn. Surprisingly, Flynn holds his ground. Blizzard squeezes his fist against his chest and stomach as Leo approaches it, and reflexively defending himself in case swung upon. We don't have time for this shit! Leo stares hard at him, his shoulders raised and his fur bristling. Flynn flinches some. Reminds me of how Leo acted toward him at the river, and I'm starting to wonder if this is how Leo treats Flynn when we're not here. Leo, what the hell are you doing? Calm down, alright? There's still a few minutes from what Leo said, but even I know that this bickering is pretty petty in contrast to the problem at hand. A solid 10 seconds of silence passed, neither two tall figures budging an inch. Finally, Leo steps forward, shoulder-checking Flynn hard enough that he stumbles back against the wall. Gonna find Carl myself. Flynn sputters angrily, Leo muttering some string of swears as he heads toward the door. At least tell where you're going to look so we know where not to go. Leo pauses at the end of the door handle. Danica Street to Elizabeth Road, south to north. Great, good luck. The door slings behind me and the heavy stomps of feet and gravel outside. He's gone. I look down and realize that I'm shaking. Even if it had been years, an argument like that with someone who basically defined my childhood and teenage years as a way of hurting deep. Stupid fucking prank. Try to refocus, make my way over toward the knocked over Flynn and offering him my paw. You okay, man? He glares up at me for a second, then takes my grasp and pulls himself up. Blizzard weighs a ton now, nearly pulling me down with him. Just go out, TJ, already. Gonna check the basement again. Dusts off his front, begins fiddling with his shirt collar, walking off back toward the stairwell before I can respond. Through the window, I can see Leo outside. He's down the road a ways past the van. He's talking to someone. I see the figure he's talking to point toward the house we're in, and Leo crosses his arms. It can't be the sheriff already, can it? Moving to the window to get a closer look, I can see that the figure is a weasel. Duke. Jesus, I haven't seen him in years. I used to see him around in his porch a lot back when I visited Leo's place near Daly. As far as I remember, he was a loner type, occasionally getting involved with civic stuff in the mayor. I have a vague memory of him being married to a younger lady when I was a kid, but I don't remember seeing her after first grade. His interactions with me were always pretty brief, not much to judge a personality by. Now, though, he's pointing at the house, speaking loudly, though I can't discern what he's saying. Leo looks angry, or his tail stiff. Despite the range, I can practically feel the old fellow's gaze shifting, meeting mine through the window. His pointing hand shifts, now aimed directly at me. I reflexively blink, stepping back. When my eyes refocus, there's a plume of dust in the air. Duke is on his back in the middle of the road, in the middle of the dirt road, and Leo is quickly marching back toward his van. What the hell? Duke is already back up on his feet, sprinting now away from Carl's house. His mouth is still moving. He's saying something. Leo's van peels out of the driveway, gravel kicking up in its wake. Within a few seconds, he's out of sight as well. Jesus. I walk over the door, locking it once again, just to be safe. Left alone, I head out of the kitchen. As I walk past the living room, I overhear the low rasp of Flynn's voice, his tone serious. And then the fucker shoved me. You said he was pulling this shit at the mall, too. I talked to Chase. You wanted more details. To think he just had to pick this day of all days to fucking snap. Flynn rubs the tip of his snout, his slitted eyes near until they spot me, and just looks back to Jenna. Let's call Molko now. Right. Flynn begins to dial for the sheriff. Jenna looks toward the door, then to me. We'll talk later, Chase, okay? If you want, of course. I pause for a minute, about to head upstairs. Oh yeah, sure thing. She smiles at me despite everything. Oh hey! TJ raises up from Carl's computer chair, clearly forcing a smile as he sees me. He's clutching his cell phone to his chest. TJ? Yeah? Are you okay? No. TJ sinks back down into his chair. Perking a brow, I move one of Carl's console gaming chairs over toward the computer area. TJ slides his cell phone back into his pocket. I'm worried about Carl. We all are. We're calling the police and hopefully they can help us, yeah? I know, it's just that image on his phone, you know, the picture Carl took. Yeah, it's, spooky. Spooky doesn't even begin to describe my initial thoughts regarding it, but this is TJ I'm speaking to, so gentle words and all. Yeah. One of his canines sinks into his lower lip, the lynx chewing on it nervously. I Maybe it's a screenshot of something he had on his monitor. We can check his history and recent documents to make sure. Have you already checked all that? His face flashed with a guilty expression. No, there's a password required to log in. Oh yeah, the new version of these operating systems makes you log in with your email account. It's dumb. I paused, thinking for a moment, and scoot a little closer to the keyboard. May I? JJ blinked, taking him a second to understand. Oh yeah, sure. He rose aside and pulled the keyboard closer to me. Blaze ice, really. Clicking the mouse brings up the generic login window. The username Blaze Ice is visible. When you were younger, Carl, I used to play a lot of free-to-play MMO type games. I convinced him to give me his password once, saying that I'd grind XP for him while I was on vacation with his parents. In reality, asshole me sent his rare party hat item to my character. I tried to tell him that the game devs deleted the item from the game, but I don't think he believed me. God, I was a shitty 10-year-old. Oh hey, that worked. Yep, kinda surprised he's still using that same old password, but kinda not at the same time. Carl doesn't want much for change, right? Anyway, what should we look through first? He just scoots closer, his chin practically on my shoulder. I have to shift my head some so that his whiskers don't brush my cheek. His messenger, I guess? I don't recognize most of these names. I see you and me on here. Most of the others outside our group are his online friends. It's good to know that he's still being social and meeting people after we left. Well, besides the names of people in our group, these look to be all online people. I played Vox Desparas all multiplayer with Carl and the Lucha Lecha guy before. He lives on the other side of the planet, practically. I wonder if he still talks to Heather. I hope not. There was a brief silence. I only messaged him earlier, though. I see a 1 next to his name. I don't think he wants us reading that. He didn't want anyone looking through Carl's phone after he and Jenna were looking at it. I think Flynn might have been venting to Carl about what happened at the river pretty hard, like. TJ's face briefly scrunched a flinching response to the information. I moved to click on Flynn's name, but TJ stops me. No! Blinking, I look over toward a wide-eyed TJ who seems to be now recoiling from his own abrupt interruption. What? Sorry. I just think we shouldn't pry into that if he didn't want us to see it. To be honest, Flynn being so cagey about his contact with Carl just makes me more curious. However, if what little stuff Flynn said to TJ to his face was enough to leave him shaken and distraught, I can't imagine what seeing the stuff he didn't say would do. Alright. I scoot back to the side a little, letting TJ take the mouse. He still looks pretty guilty for snapping at me. Let's check his browser history. Okay. TJ moves the cursor down to the star-like symbol on the taskbar. Oh no, not Fuda. Oh god, no. Oh god, no. Oh, okay. Weed, huntings, porn, video games, movie reviews, job search stuff, and Let's Plays. I guess pretty par for the course with regards to Carl. Nothing too unusual, but TJ moves the cursor to the I gently yet assertively place the phone on TJ's own and move the cursor elsewhere. It's a store for special couches. Isn't it called a futon? No. Look, the browsing history stops right before midnight. And the picture on Carl's phone was taken around that time, right? Oh my god, the first one is like... the first one is weed legal in my state, okay. Movement, wow. Yeah. That's really weird. It is. Let's keep looking, try recent files. TJ nods, closing the browser, and hesitating for a moment before clicking the most recent file titled Wait a second. That's literally just like the fucking Google history thing, but covered up. Oh, probably one of the devs didn't... yeah. Oh, cool. A resume? Looks like it. I remember the Easy Mart. What is having oh my god, this is weird. I'm still a little upset that it shut down. I mean, it's no surprise why, TJ. Yeah, it just was nice to have a local food back when we were kids. The convenience store just isn't the same. And dietary choices available to people here are now really limited unless they drive all the way to Peyton. A food desert, I think it's called. Plus, it was nice to see Carl there working. He seemed to enjoy that place. Because I had to slack off the whole time and there were barely any customers. But I get what you're saying. His anxiety about being around people wasn't nearly as bad back then. TJ smiles, smiling sadly. I bet Jenna could help him. You know she's not actually trained to be a psychologist, right? Her studies are more neural, med techy. Oh, I know. She's a really good listener, though. I nod. It's her big ears. Chase! I snicker, TJ shaking his head and closing the resume. He moves to the next document on the list, titled F's whatever that is. What the? Aww. That's my old profile picture I drew for computer class back in 4th grade. Wow, really? It does look familiar, kinda. Yeah, I used it back when we all made social media accounts. My mom made me delete mine when I got home. That was probably for the best. There was a lot of drama around how that site made you pick your top 8 friends and you ranked them like that. A lot of feelings were hurt and such. Yeah, it sounds awful, and I think I remember some of it. Sydney didn't ever add me. TJ's gaze shifts for a moment. I'm wondering why he has this saved, why I was looking at it yesterday. And maybe spending time together again made him sentimental. I still watch some of the funny movies we made with your camera back then. Your voice used to crack so much. I feel the sting of embarrassment rise from my neck to my cheeks. Oh man, I need to delete those. No, don't. They're really good. As silly as they are, you are really good at making them. I grunt, waving dismissively. Just open the next file, TJ. I really like the one where you use the editing software to make it 20 yourself. I think the plot was one where one of the was a detective and the other was a criminal, both trying to solve their father's murder. And they had superpowers. I was more ambitious than I probably should have been with that project. TJ, just click the next one. Alright, sorry. A double, huh? Wink wink, nudge nudge might be a bit of a reference to Chulpa, I don't know. TJ clicks the next file labeled a bunch of numbers.png. That's from the trip we took the reservation. Back in like freshman year of high school, jeez. Look at you two, you were so little. Carl was just getting his beard. I think we were both just getting used to high school at the time, and that was taken during Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's surprising to see Carl smiling in a photo. It's surprising to see something of Carl in his butt in a photo. I wish you wouldn't send me those. There's only one item left on the list of files that was last opened yesterday. Entitled toCarl.png. Wait a second, that sounds familiar. JD looks at me curiously, then clicks it. Oh wow. I emailed this to Carl months ago. Photos like this make me wish I went with you guys to Pueblo. Yeah, I wish you went too, TJ. I was actually trying to convince Carl to come back and try again with a different major. His parents really wanted him to stay away from art degrees, which is what he really wants to do. JJ looks like he's about to respond, but his left ear perks. His attention shifts toward the doorway. I hear the sound of thuds against the carpet out in the hall, and I half expect to see Carl around the corner and ask what the hell we're doing. Instead, Jenna steps in, her turquoise eyes already trained the computer monitor. She moves closer, leaning over me and squinting at the screen. I remember that. First year at Pueblo. Parents just dropped you off. Oh my... I just realized it's the old Jenna sprite. Oh my god. Oh, that's nostalgic for some reason. I was wondering what the heck you had on your chin at the time. Oh yeah, you hadn't seen with facial scuff yet. I never took you for the soul patch kind of guy, honestly. It's a goatee. It's kind of small for one, don't you think? I frowned, reactively reaching up and touching the scruff at the end of my chin. It was kind of weird, but now I'm used to seeing it. I frowned deeper. JJ blinks, giving me an apologetic look. I try to refocus the conversation. Carl's missing. He is. Why are you looking at old pictures? These were the files he was looking at yesterday. And we checked his browser history. His online activity stopped just before midnight and didn't ever resume. Anything unusual there? I think he was looking to buy a Fuda. Jenna stands there staring at TJ with a deadpan expression. And after about 5 seconds, he looks at me expectantly. He means a futon. You said... No, nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, well, I'll be sure to let the sheriff know when she gets here. Flynn steps in the room beside Jenna. Usually the heel has a bit of a case of resting bitch face, but right now he looks downright sour. Alright, let's figure out who's going to look where. Wolf Boys made the decision to go check the roads Elizabeth through Danica. Chase, you got Margaret Lane through Tetanus Alley, Jasmine Street. I'm giving you a cent more since you got a car. I'll take Gretchen Way to the beginning of Route 65 in my truck. TJ like hiking. We need to check around the hills and old nature trails around here, all the way down to the lake. TJ stiffens and feeling the room seems to cool drastically. Only if you're comfortable doing that, okay? We just want to be thorough. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I just want Carl to be okay. Jenna nods, offering TJ a reassuring smile. Just test me while you're out. I'll most likely be free since I'll be keeping watch here at the house. TJ smiles back sheepishly. Okay. Before you all scout off to your respective places, I found some weird shit in the basement. Flynn holds up his fingers, there being some light, chalky substance upon them. At the entrance of the crawl space, there was a bunch of hoof prints dents in the walls and plaster everywhere. Like Carl was headbutting the damn thing. There's nothing I can see in there, though. My theory is that Jeremy gave him bad weed laced with some shit and now Carl's on a real bad trip. Which is why I need you to talk to Jeremy when you get to Jasmine Chase. He looks sidelong toward Jenna. Jasmine Street, I mean. What the hell? When you get to oh right, God. I feel a chill crawl up my spine. Jeremy and especially his friends made my life hell during most of my childhood. Especially after the lake incident. All of them were native inhabitants of Jasmine Street. If it weren't for Leo stepping in, things would have been even worse. You can't text me too, Chase. She seemed to have read the look in my face. I swallow and try to look casual. Okay? Flynn rolls his eyes so hard I can see his pupils for a moment. Pausing, I remember something. I saw Leo get into argument with Duke outside the house earlier. Duke kept pointing at him and was saying something to him. Whatever Duke said, it was enough for Leo to push him to the ground and drive off. Knowing Leo's minimum threshold for violent turns, probably hello. Flynn seems to soften by that comment, looking sidelong behind his smirk before returning to his more hardened expression. But in seriousness, that is concerning. I'll also relay this information to Sheriff Malco when she gets here. I'll text Leo and try to figure out what he wanted. Good plan. Flynn immediately heads out without another word. TJ hesitates a little, fidgeting with something on the computer, but gets up and leaves as well. I'm about to follow suit, but Jenna stops me, her palm on my shoulder. Hey, if Jeremy asks about me, you don't need to lie and say I'm not here or anything, okay? Oh yeah, I understand. She lowers her paw, recrossing her arms over her chest. We'll talk later, yeah? I feel like I'm lingering to the point of awkwardness now. Good luck. You too. The clearing of my throat, I shuffle my way out. Good grief, how long is Wednesday? What the fuck? I take the bend out of Mary Drive, trying to squint through dust kicked up on my vehicle past the sagebrush ahead. Carl isn't exactly small or stealthy, so if he's around here I should be able to see him. The more I drive, the more I start to notice how little maintenance the dirt roads receive out here. My tires kick up topsoil and gravel, and divots mar the surface and jolt me in my seat. Unlike Flynn's truck or Leo's van, my little clunker isn't meant for these sort of roads. I can practically feel my maintenance bill growing. As I approach the turn off to Jasmine Street, I pull over onto the side of the road. I reach back into my shorts and take my wallet, placing the glove box and locking it just in case. Stepping out of the vehicle, a cool sweat begins to form along my neck, and I have to remind myself that I'm 21. We're all adults, I can drink, I have a car, I live with myself. Carl is in trouble. We walked through the clearing of the dry bush. I'm reminded the last time I was here. I had a fight with my parents. I think it was over my grades or Leo or something. Eventually I had enough of being yelled at and took off for a generic teenage angst walk. My MP3 player was with me at the time, so I had my earbuds in, and had the emo core cranked up. Hours passed, and it was like I wasn't even awake, just meandering through the dust desert, bleary-eyed and directionless. I must have ended up on Jasmine because the abandoned school was nearby. I remember stopping to kick a rubber tire or something before I could, an arm appeared. It was furless, sort of pinkish and incredibly long. It just sort of showed up in the corner of my vision, stretching out in front of me, like someone was trying to hug me from behind. The music on my MP3 player had stopped, and there was a complete absence of sound besides ringing in my ears. For some reason I still don't understand. I didn't move. Maybe I was too scared. I did speak, but all I could say was, "Hey." And then someone hit me over the back of the head and called me a cocksucker. They tried to take my MP3 player too, but I was clutching it so tightly at that point they couldn't get me to release it, no matter how many times they hit me in the head. I ended up telling Leo about it later, and he basically forbade me from ever going near Jasmine Street again. He kept asking who did it. I told him I didn't know, but Leo thought I was just trying to keep him from harm. He went on a big speech about how where he comes from, it's if somebody did that shit to a man's significant other, to be fucking dead. I was tired and my head hurt, so I asked him how well that philosophy was working out for everyone in his home country. That just made him even angrier, and he kept going on about how he's supposed to be the protector of us all. Hell, even Dame dropped Sydney to help prove his point. Something he almost never brings up because it kills the good mood. I come to a stop at the edge of the clearing. The street sign in the corner of the base of the hill confirms my location. Jasmine Street. Also known as Tetanus Alley if you ask Flynn. No wonder Jenna changed her name. I make a point to keep my tail from touching the ground, occasionally checking the path ahead for shattered glass. Looking through the shattered windows of abandoned manufactured homes and littered hilltops, I can't imagine Carl in a place like this. Approaching Jenna's old house, I take stock of how it's aged. Poorly. It's stucco like most of the other trailers about, but it hasn't seen a good coat of paint in at least a decade. The lawn's overgrown with weeds, and old convenience store wrappers laying tangled within the grass. Even as little kids, we never played here. Jenna would insist we go to Leo's or my house. Listening in and peering through the torn screen windows, I can see that no one is home. Moving on around the back, I hear some chatter behind the half-demolished home next door. Some familiar voices stand out instantly. I keep out of sight behind the debris. "No, it wasn't like that." Heather says this in a babyish whine, practically a coo. There's a raspy speaking voice I don't remember having. "You lit up with him all day in the shed, and you're saying you didn't do that?" "No. He was really, really sweet. I mean, he had an accent and everything." "What kind of an accent?" That voice I don't recognize. It's sort of growly or artificial, like someone is trying to make their voice sound deeper than it is. "You know, the Hispanic ones. Is that still, PC to say? Because my cousin was telling me off something fierce for using that other word." "You called Josh a... Okay. But I meant in a good way, like when I call you my night rat." "You can call me whatever the fuck you want, Heather. Just don't be throwing that shit around when Jared's trying to sell." "She'll do. He still bought it for me." "How much?" "It's in the book." "He might not next time." "Dude. Ever since you got back, you're so much more assertive." The unknowing voice doesn't respond. Jeremy speaks up again. "So what happened with Juan?" "We just talked, He wants to be a baker. He said next time we meet, he'll bring me some guava... Pet shop. What? Those are apple turnover looking things, right?" "God, I'm hungry." "Oh, that sounds so good, Jeremy. Why do you have to bring us apple turnover? What?" "Well, that's sort of what Campechanas are. You brought them up, Heather." Jeremy laughs in his trademark bassy and abrupt titter. "Are you gonna give Juan your cherry pie next time you see him, too?" "What?" "Huh? I don't know how to cook. I don't even have a stove." "Fuck me." The voice groans. It's slang for vagina, a slice of cherry pie. I wouldn't put my junk in a vagina look like a slice of cherry pie." "You're gross." "Well, I said it." "You both are." Heather says it with a snooty flair, though it's subverted by her voice's more dopey, childish undertone. "Now to get out of this town." You haven't been back that long. Are you upset about the dreams again? Yeah, the dreaming shits are getting worse, but it's other stuff too, okay? You just need to relax, dude. Smoke some, so it's what works for me when I get them. I'm trying not to use up the stuff I'm trying to sell. I gotta save up, Everyone around here seems to be losing their shit more so than usual. What's that fucking Bale leering around here all the time? Alan keeps pushing me to sell this kind of injectable shit. Won't tell me what it is. Really? There's a pause in the conversation. Keith wants to say hi to his mom before work. What? Keith wants to say hi to his mom before work. Heather. Keith wants to say hi to his mom before work. What's wrong with you? Why are you saying that, Heather? An increasing sense of urgency takes hold of Jeremy's usually calm, lackadaisy tone. Keith, you mean Keith from... Heather begins to sob. Her crying is sputtering and wet, and I can hear her from here. Oh, God! Heather, dude, what's wrong? She continues bawling, her whining, crying, increasingly shrill and choked. I can't, I can't do that. That's... Heather! I can't deal with this right now. Micah, give her a joint. Micah, what? Well, I'm not giving her any more of mine. She's probably pulling this shit just to get more... Dude, no, I got some of mine in the mini storage out back. Just hurry, okay? Fuck, okay. Hearing footsteps, my heart lurches. I move back around the other side of the structure, praying that my clumsy otter self is actually stealthy for once in my life. However, it isn't long before I see him around the same corner I just did. What in goddamn shit? Micah's big eyes widen in alarm, the words catching his throat, higher pitch than the others. There's a pause, and having been caught, I haven't got a clue what to say. Well, shit, it really is you. He mutters, his face taking a more stern expression. What? What the fuck are you doing here, schizo? I'm jolted for a moment, that being something that I haven't called in years. I swallow across my arms and try to look nonchalant. Looking for Jeremy. Thought you fucked off the card like the rest. I thought you disappeared back in '08. Quiet huff escapes the small bat. Well, I'm here now. Heather's cry can still be heard in the background, her banshee-like wails providing an odd ambience to this reunion. Why didn't you see Jeremy? I'm looking for Carl. An indiscernible expression takes hold upon Micah's face, intense with his gaze, flicking to his surroundings. Rich going in here. Why? Is Leo with you? No. Suddenly, Jeremy approaches from around the corner. Dude, what is taking so... What the hell? The stout's fennec turquoise eyes bulge. He's much more round than I remember him, looking like a mix of Jenna and Carl's... Look like a mix of Jenna with Carl's body. Schizo's here. Oh, Jesus, where's the wolf? He says he's not here. Guys, I'm looking for Carl. Even the police are searching for him now. Micah tenses the hell up at that information, his standoffish demeanor completely gone. One of the few people he talked to before he went missing around midnight was you, Jeremy. Have any ideas where he could have gone? Jeremy stares ahead at me blankly. There's a certain warmth that Jenna possesses to her gaze that her brother completely lacks in. I look at Jeremy now, and all I can see are the times he threatened me over stuff I didn't do, called me a faggot, and hit me. Yet there's definitely something different in his demeanor than I remember. He's less intense. Schizo, I'll tell you if I knew. I just took him up last like a quarter mile from his house. Ever since he crashed his ride, it makes me come out. He makes me come out there to him when he wants to buy. So he didn't mention anything about running off. I can't see Carl running. Why the hell would he want to when he got everything he'd ever want in the castle? The castle. Which is why it's worrying that he isn't there. Did it look like somebody broke in? No. Oh. You didn't give him anything laced, did you? I don't really know how all that works. No, it's the same stuff I smoke. It's not that reassuring, but I nod regardless. Well, thanks. We're staying at Carl's if you hear anything else or see him around somewhere. Jeremy frowns, canting his head to the side. Is Jenna with you? Yeah. Jeremy's frown deepens, but he doesn't look exactly angry or anything. Ow. There is a pause of silence, punctuated by a choked sob from Heather behind the house. How's she doing? The usual. Better than everyone else. Jeremy's frown shifts to a lopsided smile, the fox even grinning for a second. One of his front teeth is chipped in half. That sounds about right. Micah looks over his shoulder. Gonna get that joint now. He sidesteps, grunting as he passes. Nice soul patch, fag. Oh, good. Just fucking say nothing, dude. Doesn't matter. Micah moves on toward the mini fridge without incident, though I feel a blade on my cheeks. My fists begin to clench. We're adults now. Why the hell do they still treat me like this? This must be how TJ feels. Jeremy watches Micah for scratching his gut. His eyes are upon me now. Yeah, you should go now. Oh, yeah. I'll let Jenna know that everything is, all good here. Jeremy just stares at me, then walks back to Heather. She's still crying. Well, there we go. Wednesday done. Boo, jima, jima. What the fuck is this? What the fuck was that? What the fuck? Nope. Fuck you. Fuck you. No, that's Chulpa. I know that silhouette. Fuck off, bitch. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing this shit. Fuck you. Well, guys, that was quite possibly the longest day. No, it really wasn't, but whatever. At least Mike is there. Bat has spawned, though. It doesn't seem like that now, but he will. Trust me.